I was standing outside, breathing fresh air, with people telling me I was safe. They kept saying it was over. But my hands were shaking, my chest felt tight, and all I could think was this. If I am free why do I still feel like I am trapped? That was the moment I realized escaping wasn't the end of the story. The first thing I remember after the door opened is the air. Cold. Sharp. Wrong. It hit my face like I didn't deserve it. Someone kept saying my name, but it didn't sound like mine anymore. A police officer guided me toward a car, hand open on my shoulder, careful not to grab me. Everyone moved like I was made of glass. Questions came fast. Oh ear you hurt, euro edo you need a medic, euro can you tell me where you were, euro. I nodded at the easy ones. For the rest, my mouth opened and closed like I forgotten how speaking worked. They wrapped a blanket around me, and the fabric scraped my skin. Not painful just unfamiliar. I realized I hadn't felt normal fabric in a long time. Everything I been living with had been chosen for me, rough towels, stiff sheets, clothes that fit a little wrong. A woman in a dark jacket crouched in front of me, eyes level with mine. She said, you re safe. You re safe now. Her voice was warm, but my body didn't believe her. My body believed doors. Locks. Silence. When they put me in the back seat, the door shut with a soft click. Not a slam. Just a click. And my entire chest tightened like a trap had closed. Theta the moment I understood something I couldn't explain to them. I wasn't panicking because I thought I be taken back. I was panicking because no one was telling me the rules anymore. At the station, they put me in a small room with bright lights and a table that felt too clean. A paper cup of water sat in front of me. It trembled when my fingers touched it. A detective introduced himself and spoke slowly, like he was translating the world into a language I could handle. He asked if I could tell him my full name. I did. Then he asked my date of birth. My mind went blank for a second, like the information had been stored somewhere I couldn't reach. He said, take your time. You re not in trouble. I nodded, but the word troublio stuck to me. Inside, troublio had meant consequences. It had meant losing privileges I didn't even know I was grateful for. They asked me to describe where I been kept. I said, a room. They asked, what kind of room, I stared at the wall, trying to pull it into focus. The room wasn't one clear picture. It was 100 small moments, a corner where dust collected, a mark on the floor, a light switch that never worked. The detective asked, was he there with you, I flinched at the word Not because of what it meant to them. Because to me, it meant a schedule. A mood. A voice that decided whether I would eat, whether I could speak, whether I was allowed to breathe like a normal person. When I didn't answer right away, he leaned back, patient. But I could feel my heart accelerating anyway. Because patience used to be a warning. Patience used to mean something was coming. They called a paramedic to check me over. Blood pressure. Pulse. Light in my eyes. They asked if I been hit. If I been restrained. If I been threatened. I said a euro to most of it, and the room felt confused by my answers. The truth was harder than yes or no. It wasn't the kind of harm you could point to. It was the kind that rewires you quietly, the kind that makes you grateful for small mercies until you forget they were never supposed to be mercies. A counselor introduced herself and asked me how I was feeling. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny euro, because I didn't euro understand the question. Feelings had been dangerous. Feelings showed on your face. Feelings could be read. And being read meant being managed. So I told her I felt a euro o tired. A euro. That was safe. Everyone understands tired. She asked if I wanted to call my family. My throat tightened. The idea of my family felt like looking into the sun after months underground. Too bright. Too much. She said, a euro can do it when you a euro ready. A euro. Ready. Another word that sounded normal but landed wrong. Inside, a euro already a euro had meant a euro prepared to comply. A euro. Out here, it meant a euro prepared to choose. A euro. And I realized I didn't a euro trust myself to choose anything yet. That first night, they took me to a safe place. Not my homey a euro, somewhere private, guarded, quiet. A bed with clean sheets. A bathroom with a lock on the inside. A window that looked out onto a parking lot lit by orange streetlights. They thought I would sleep. I didn't a euro even sit down for the first hour. I walked the room like an animal learning a new cage. I touched the door handle, opened it, closed it, opened it again. A euro testing reality. No one stopped me. No one corrected me. No one said, a euro don't a euro a euro. Silence in the hallway made my skin crawl. Because silence used to mean he was listening. Noise used to mean he wasn't a euro nearby. My brain had learned the wrong math. I finally lay down, fully dressed, blanket pulled up to my chest. My eyes stayed open. Every time a car door closed outside, I felt the click in my ribs. At some point I realized my hands were positioned the way they used to be when I slept. A euro, fingers curled, shoulders slightly tense, body ready to wake fast. I tried to relax them. The moment I did, panic rose like a wave. I sat up, breathing hard, staring at the corner of the room. And I hated myself for the thought that came next. I missed knowing what happens next. In the morning, they brought me breakfast. Real breakfast, on a tray. Eggs. Toast. Fruit. I stared at it like it was a trick. A woman sat across from me and said, a euro, you can eat as much as you want. A euro. As much as I want. The words sounded like freedom. They felt like pressure. Inside, portions were measured. Not always smell a euro, just controlled. Control was the point. When you control food, you control time. When you control time, you control hope. I took a bite. Chewed slowly. My stomach reacted like it didn't a euro trust me. They asked if I could talk again. If I could try to remember the beginning. The first day. The first hour. I wanted to say it started with violence. That would have made sense to them. But it didn't a euro. It started with a conversation. A ride. A moment where I made a normal decision and didn't a euro understand the cost. When I tried to speak about it, my tongue felt thick. Not from fear of him. From fear of the story. Because once you say the beginning out loud, you admit you didn't a euro see it coming. And theta euros a kind of humiliation people don't a euro warn you about. The detective said, a euro you a euro redoing great. A euro. I nodded politely. Then I went quiet. Because a euro doing great. A euro inside had meant a euro not causing problems. A euro. And I still didn't a euro know how to be anything else. They recorded my statement in pieces. Short sessions with breaks. They offered me water constantly. They asked permission before they moved too close. All of it was kindness. And all of it made me tense. I kept waiting for the moment kindness would turn into a price. Because kindness used to be transactional. If he was kind, it meant he wanted something. A calmer version of me. A grateful version of me. A quieter version of me. A detective asked, gently, if the man had ever called himself my boyfriend. My mouth went dry. I shook my head. Then I stopped. Because the honest answer was complicated. He didn't call himself anything. He avoided labels. Labels make things real. Real things are harder to deny. He called me a smart when I followed instructions. He called me a difficult when I asked questions. Over time, I learned which word was safer. The counselor asked if I blamed myself. I said, a. And I meant it in that moment. But later, alone, I remembered the small ways I had adapted. How I lowered my voice without being told. How I stopped looking at the door. How I began to anticipate his mood like weather. And fate s when the shame started creeping in a. Not because I thought I deserved it. But because I realized how easily a human being can be trained. A few days later, they arranged a meeting with my family. They prepped me like it was surgery. They told me it might be overwhelming. They told me I could leave at any time. When my mother walked in, her face collapsed. She made a sound I never heard before, half sob, half breath. She grabbed me so hard it hurt. I didn't pull away, but my body went rigid on instinct. My father kept repeating my name. Like saying it enough times would bring me back fully. They asked questions immediately. Did he hurt you? Did you eat? Where were you? I answered the easiest ones. I avoided the rest with vague words. My mother looked at me like she could see the gaps. Then my sister said, rehome. And my stomach turned. Because I wasn't home. I was in a room with my family. But homie used to mean something inside my head that I couldn't reach anymore. They wanted tears. They wanted relief. They wanted me to fall apart in a way that made sense. Instead, I sat there, holding a cup of tea with both hands, watching my family like I was visiting someone else's life. After that meeting, I thought I would crash. I thought emotions would finally hit. Instead, I went numb. Numb was familiar. Numb was safe. Numb was what you become when reacting is dangerous. A social worker spoke to me about options. Temporary housing. Protection. Privacy. She mentioned media might find out. She said my name might end up online. I felt my throat close again. The idea of strangers knowing details about me was terrifying. Because inside, privacy was the only thing I still believed I had. Even when I didn't. That night I tried to shower. Hot water, steam, clean towels. I stared at my own body in the mirror afterward and felt detached. Like it was a body I borrowed. I noticed small things, how my shoulders stayed lifted, how my eyes kept scanning corners. I tried to force myself to breathe slow. Inhale. Exhale. Like therapy videos tell you. It didn't help. Because my fear wasn't in my thoughts. It was in my nervous system. And I realized, even if no one ever touched me again, my body might keep acting like someone could. They asked me to go over the timeline again. The detective slid a notebook across the table and said, start with the first week. I stared at the notebook. Weeks didn't exist inside like that. Time wasn't measured in days. It was measured in routines. I tried anyway. I said he kept the room dim most of the time. I said he controlled when I ate. I said he didn't T like questions. The detective asked, did you ever think about running, I paused too long. He noticed. He didn't T push just waited. I swallowed and said, eyes. At first. At first. Those two words did a lot of damage. Because after eat first to comes the part no one wants to hear. The part where you begin to adjust. The part where you conserve energy. The part where you choose survival over hope because hope burns you out. I didn't T say that. I didn't T know how. The detective asked, what changed, My hands tightened around the cup. I said, I got tired. He nodded like he understood. He didn't T. But he didn't T need to, yet. Not until the story reached the part where survival starts looking like surrender. Therapy started soon after. A quiet office. Soft chair. A box of tissues that felt like an expectation. The therapist asked me to describe the man in simple words. Tall or short? Loud or quiet? Kind or cruel? I sat there, stuck. Because the truth wasn't T simple. He wasn't T loud. He wasn't T theatrical. He didn't T rage every day like people imagine. He was ordinary. That was the most frightening part. An ordinary voice telling you ordinary rules. In an ordinary tone. Until your life becomes a set of permissions. The therapist asked if I feared him. I said yes. Then I corrected myself. I said, I feared what happened when I didn't T behave the way he wanted. That difference matters. Because it wasn't T just fear of a person. It was fear of an environment. Rules had become gravity. Breaking them felt like falling. When I said that out loud, the therapist nodded slowly. And for the first time, I saw it in someone else's eyes. This wasn't T about a locked door. It was about a mind that had been trained to stop reaching for the door. The therapist gave me a small assignment. Write down 3 decisions I made each day. Tiny ones. What I ate. What I wore. When I went outside. The first day, I could only write 1. I drank water. That was it. Because decisions didn't T feel like mine yet. They felt like hazards. I stood in front of a closet and stared at shirts like they were puzzles. I couldn't T choose. Not because I didn't T Korea. Because choosing meant owning the outcome. Inside, outcomes belong to him. Outside, outcomes belong to me. And that felt heavy. I forced myself to pick a shirt. Then I changed it. Then I changed it again. By the 3rd time, I was sweating. I sat down on the floor, back against the wall, trying to calm my breathing. I told myself this was ridiculous. It was a shirt. But my body didn't T respond to logic. It responded to history. Later, I wrote. I chose a shirt. I chose not to scream. I chose to stay. And that last only I chose to stay felt like the beginning of something. Because for months, staying had never been my choice. A detective asked if I could identify the location. They showed me photos, buildings, roads, satellite images. I stared until my eyes burned. At one point I recognized a curve in a driveway. I felt my pulse jump. Then panic followed immediately. Because recognizing it made it real. It meant people would go there. They would open that door. They would see what I had seen. And part of me didn't want anyone to see it. Not because I was protecting him. but because it felt like exposing something private in me. The detective noticed my hands shaking. He slid a paper across to me and said, "€o can stop. €. Stop." Another word that sounded safe. Inside, €a stop €. was not a word that existed. Inside, you waited until it was over. Out here, you could stop. I whispered, "€, not yet. €. And for once, the room listened to me. That moment was small. But it was the first time in a long time I felt the world respond to my boundary. It scared me and empowered me at the same time. As the investigation moved forward, other people started showing up in my life. Victim advocates, officers, counselors, people with clipboards and gentle voices. They all wanted to help. But every new person meant a new conversation. Every conversation meant a new version of my story. I began to notice something. People wanted a clean narrative. They wanted a villain and a victim and a rescue. Real life didn't feel like that. Real life felt like confusion. It felt like the way I sometimes defended small things about him in my head. And then hated myself for it. One advocate told me, "It's normal to feel conflicted. €. I nodded like I believed her. I didn't. Conflicted felt like betrayal. At night, I replayed moments. The times he brought food. The times he spoke gently. The times he said my name like it mattered. I wanted to erase those memories. Because if he had been cruel all the time, the story would be easier. If he had been cruel all the time, my survival would feel more noble. But he wasn't. And my brain had adapted to that in ways that made me sick to admit. The first time I went outside alone, I lasted 3 minutes. I walked to the end of the driveway, heard a dog bark somewhere, and turned back. My legs felt weak, like they didn't trust the open space. The sky looked too wide. The world looked loud. Inside, my world had been measured in footsteps from bed to wall to door. Out here, there were infinite directions. I tried again the next day. 5 minutes. Then 10. Then I sat in a parked car and cried without understanding why. It wasn't fear of being taken. It was fear of being seen. Seen meant judged. Judged meant having to explain. I practiced simple sentences in my head. €, am doing okay. €. Thank you. €. I don't want to talk about it. €. But when a neighbor waved at me, my face froze. I waved back late, awkward, like I forgotten the timing. Theta Euros when I realized something humiliating. I had learned how to live in captivity better than I remembered how to live in public. The therapist asked me to describe the moment I stopped planning to escape. I stared at her. I wanted to say that never happened. I wanted to protect the version of me that was always fighting. But the truth didn't care what I wanted. It wasn't a dramatic moment. There wasn't a day where I decided to give up. It was quieter than that. It was the day I stopped checking the door. The day I stopped counting the hours. The day I started saving energy. I told her that. My voice sounded calm, but my throat burned. She asked, €, why, €? And that single word made my stomach twist. Because the honest answer was, it worked. Following rules made things smoother. Predictability reduced danger. Compliance reduced conflict. When you live like that long enough, your brain starts calling it €. I said, I didn't wanna make him angry. €. She nodded. But I could tell she heard the deeper part. I had been living to manage someone else's emotions. And that habit does na euro t disappear the moment the door opens. A few weeks after my return, someone suggested I go back to work someday. They said it casually, like it was a normal next step. I smiled and pretended it was a good idea. Then I went to the bathroom and sat on the floor with the lights off. The idea of being in a room with coworkers, making small talk, pretending nothing happened, felt impossible. Not because I wanted to be special. Because I no longer knew how to be ordinary. I tried watching TV to feel normal. Every show felt fake. Every laugh track felt insulting. I turned it off and sat in silence, listening to my own breathing. Then my phone buzzed with a message from a friend. I'm here whenever you ready. Ready again. Always ready. Everyone wanted readiness like it was a switch. I typed back, thanks. Then I put the phone down. Because the truth was, I didn't know who I was without rules. And until I knew that, I didn't know how to be s friend. The investigation continued, but I wasn't in the center of it anymore. People made plans without me. They filed paperwork, searched locations, built cases. Part of me felt relieved. Another part felt invisible. I realized I had gotten used to being watched. Not in a comforting way. In a survival way. When someone watches you, you can predict their expectations. When no one watches you, you left alone with your own mind. And my mind still had his voice in it, not as words but as boundaries. Don't talk too much. Don't ask for anything. Don't make trouble. I began to notice how often I apologized. Sorry. 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 For taking time. For needing space. For existing. The therapist asked, who taught you to apologize for breathing, I didn't answer. But I felt the truth land hard. I had learned to make myself smaller to stay safe. And now I didn't know how to stop. One day, a detective told me they had found him. They had a name, a location, a history. He said it like it was good news. I nodded. I said, My voice sounded flat. Inside, my body reacted like I been hit with cold water. Hands tingling. Jaw tight. Vision sharp. The detective asked if I wanted to be involved. If I wanted to testify. If I wanted to see photos. My first instinct was to say yes, to prove I was strong. My second instinct was to disappear. I asked for time. And the detective said, of course. He meant it. But I hated that I needed time. Because needing time felt like weakness. Inside, weakness was dangerous. That night I sat in bed, staring at the wall. And I imagined him hearing that he been found. I imagined his reaction. Not rage. Not screaming. Just that calm, controlled silence. And my stomach turned, because calm had been the scariest emotion in that house. Over the next weeks, I learned what triggers were. Not from a textbook. From my body. A certain cologne in a grocery store made my heart sprint. A particular kind of keychain jingle made my throat close. A door closing softly behind me made me freeze. People would say, s okay, you re safe. And I wanted to believe them. But safety isn't ta thought. Safety is a sensation. And my body had lost it. I started carrying a small list in my pocket. Things that grounded me. A cold bottle of water. A textured coin. Counting my fingers. Naming 5 objects in the room. It helped sometimes. Other times, nothing helped. One night, I woke up and realized I was holding my breath. I forced myself to exhale, shaking. And I understood something that made me furious. Even asleep, my body still behaved like it belonged to him. The therapist asked me to write a letter to my past self. The version of me from before the first day. She said it might help me reconnect. I stared at the blank page for hours. Because I didn't know what to say to someone who still believed the world was simple. I finally wrote. You re not stupid. You re not weak. You re human. Then I stopped. Because the next sentence felt too honest. And you will learn to survive by becoming quiet. When I read it back, tears came fast and hot. Not because of what happened to me, but because of what I had become. I had become someone who measured her worth by how little she needed, by how small she could stay, by how easy she could be to manage. Theta s when I realized my recovery wouldn't be about forgetting. It would be about unlearning. And unlearning is slow. Eta s painful. Eta s choosing discomfort on purpose. The day I decided to testify, I thought it would feel empowering. Instead, it felt like walking into the room again. They explained the process. They told me what questions to expect. They warned me the defense might try to twist my words. That made me sick. Because twisting words was something I already knew too well. I practiced answers with an advocate. Simple, clear statements. OEI did not consent. OEI did not choose this. OEI was controlled. Saying those words out loud felt strange. Not because they were in true because part of me still had a habit of minimizing to survive. When the advocate asked, are you ready, I swallowed and said, My voice shook. Walking out of that building afterward, I noticed my hands were open. Not clenched. Open. It was a tiny sign, but it mattered. For the first time, my body felt like it was starting to belong to me again. After the legal steps began, people expected closure. They expected a straight line toward or better. But healing didn't follow court dates. It followed mornings. Tiny choices. Repetitions. I started forcing myself to make decisions even when they felt wrong. I chose breakfast without overthinking. I chose a route to walk and stuck to it. I chose to answer a phone call instead of letting it ring. Some days I failed. Some days I stayed in bed until noon and felt ashamed. Then I tried again the next day. I learned that strength wasn't dramatic. Strength was getting up and brushing my teeth when everything in me wanted to hide. Strength was saying, I don't want to talk about it and not apologizing afterward. The therapist called it or reclaiming agency. I called it learning how to be a person again. And slowly, I started noticing something. My shoulders dropped sometimes. My breathing softened sometimes. I laughed once quietly, unexpectedly and it didn't feel illegal. One afternoon, I caught myself setting the table a certain way. Exactly the way it had been set inside. Plate aligned. Cup placed to the right. Napkin folded the same. I stared at it and felt anger rise. Not at him. At the habit. At the fact that my body still remembered. I moved the cup to the left on purpose. It felt like rebellion. Then guilt followed immediately, like a reflex. I sat down and waited for consequences that never came. That moment taught me something important. The fear wasn't a Euro T predicting reality anymore. It was repeating history. Once I understood that, I could begin to challenge it. Not all at once. In tiny acts. Turning on music in the house, even though noise used to be dangerous. Leaving a light on at night, even though darkness used to be enforced. Calling a friend and letting the conversation be awkward instead of perfect. Each small act said the same thing. I don't a Euro T live by those rules anymore. People ask if I forgive him. If I hate him. If I dream about revenge. They ask like they're a Euro SA correct answer. The truth is, I don't a Euro T build my life around him anymore. Theta Euro S the closest thing I have to victory. I still have days where I feel like I a Euro am standing outside that door again. Blanket on my shoulders, eyes too wide, waiting for instructions. But now, when that feeling comes, I recognize it. I name it. I tell myself, a Euro ethos is a memory, not a command. A Euro. I don't a Euro T always win. But I don't a Euro T always lose either. I a Euro VE learn to let people see me without performing the perfect recovery. Some days I a Euro am quiet. Some days I a Euro am angry. Some days I laugh. Real healing is messy. Eat a Euro S not a montage. Eat a Euro S not a speech. Eat a Euro SA life. And my life is mine again, even when it doesn't a Euro T feel easy. Escaping was one moment. Freedom is 1,000 moments. I used to think the goal was to feel normal again. Now I know that version of normal is gone. And Theta Euro S okay. My goal is smaller and harder. To choose my life without fear making the decisions for me. To take up space without apology. To exist without shrinking. The door opened a long time ago. I walked out. But staying out a Euro. Staying present in my own life. Staying responsible for my own choices. Staying humana Euro. Has been the real work. And I a Euro am still doing it.